I have my tea ready and I'm ready to get right into it. I still need some time. Hello! I'm basically filming while I still have good lighting outside, and this is like the only spot in my apartment that actually has like natural, beautiful light. Today I want to start this kind of video series of advice that I would give to like any of my friends, basically. Like any close friend of mine, I would give this advice to. I have my tea brewed and I'm ready to talk about everything that's kind of been on my mind. I'm not a psychologist by any means, by the way, but I just want to give advice based on my experiences and the things that I've gone through and kind of what I've learned from those experiences as well. So I want to start this video series off about relationship advice. So today I want to talk about growth in terms of our partner, our significant other, and ourselves as well, because we can be kind of overly critical of other people, like we can be overly critical of our partner, but I feel like a lot of times we don't take that step back to look at ourselves and look at how our role in the relationship as well. I want to start off and talk about growth regarding your partner. So you want to be able to grow with your partner, and that means being able to stand by each other's side no matter what and really accept each other's flaws and inconsistencies sometimes in their willingness to change in certain behaviors or certain patterns that might not be useful towards their personal growth, because you want them to become the best version of themselves, and sometimes there are going to be inconsistencies in that, right? And you want to be able to be accepting of that, because growth is not this kind of like linear slope. There are going to be downward curves, there could be constant rates, meaning that like the rate of change is just constant, it's not going down, it's not going up. But you want to just see the overall trend of growth to go up. But that doesn't mean that within that upwards trend, there aren't going to be changes or even setbacks. So I think that's really important to recognize and remember when you are in a relationship with somebody. I think that's so critical. It's just to be accepting and to be there for them when they do have setbacks, or if you feel like they're not really doing anything, they're kind of at a standstill, then you can encourage them to again reevaluate and again grow again as the person, to become the best versions of themselves, because we all want to be our best selves, right? Like that's the whole point, I think, of our relationship, honestly, is to help each other be the best person, be each other's best friend, be each other's partner in life. So everyone has setbacks, and you cannot expect change to occur overnight. You can have a conversation with someone and say, hey, I don't like that you're doing XYZ, right? And then they'll be like, okay, like I'll work on it. As long as you see that they are working on that change and fixing those things that you want them to work on, like, you know, maybe vocalizing their concerns with you more, then you can't fault them if one day they just slip out and they kind of regress back to what they're used to, especially if that pattern of behavior has been kind of instilled in them over a long time. And that's what brings me into my next point, is growth in terms of you, me, ourselves, and the toxic habits that we have. Because like it's really important to take a step back and recognize your own toxic habits. We all have them. It's inevitable, and it can come from a variety of places. Like we talked about, change again doesn't occur overnight, and changing patterns of behavior that have been with us for many years is not easy. It's not easy. It's not like you wake up one day and you're like, yep, I'm just gonna 180 it. Sometimes that can happen, but that's not always the case. You have to set small goals for yourself, but you have to be really passionate about making that change. The first step of growth is recognizing that you have these habits and then making the decision to change that. We've kind of all seen those memes that are like, I don't even feel bad that I'm crazy because my boyfriend chose this life, or memes like this, or like this. These memes are honestly pretty toxic. And in a way, they kind of accept toxic habits rather than encouraging people to take control of them and to make that effort to change, to make both members of the relationship happy and have a healthy relationship. Because in a healthy relationship, you don't want to be like, haha, like I'm crazy and he has to accept it. Like, no. Like, believe me, I've laughed at those memes too. I've definitely had my laugh and been like, haha, lol, me. But then I took a step back and I was like, wait, but like, how's that fair to my partner? You don't want to just stir, the pot just because you want to stir the pot and then kind of like love the idea of that, I guess. We need to respect our partners, and saying things like, oh, I'm crazy and my partner has to deal with it, isn't really respecting your partner, right? Like, it just isn't. And that's why I'm not a fan of these memes anymore, because I just think that that's really unfair to your significant other. We want to be conscious of how we express our concerns. Like saying things like, I'm fine, when you're not fine, and then following it by, it's funny how you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, we've all done it. We've all been there. We've all done the classic, it's nothing. And then the whole essay of everything that's been going through our minds. Thing is you want to vocalize your concerns when that initial concern happens. You don't want to just kind of bottle it all up and then just, right? You want to just be like, hey, I don't like that you did this right now. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it. And because then your partner will recognize, will know what you're talking about, first of all. Like, this event just happened, you can talk about it, you can move on from it. But when you kind of like explode, or you've been holding something in and you just kind of like blast it on them, it's not really a positive thing for anyone, really, because you're putting a lot of emotion instead of rationale. And I think to have kind of that healthy relationship, you really should try to, just vocalize and kind of, if you feel those emotions coming up, take a step back, take a deep breath, count to 10, be like, it's fine. And then come back and be like, hey, this thing upset me. Let's have a conversation. And I think your partner will really respect that more than you pretending like everything's fine when everything's not fine, Communication's key is what I'm trying to say. Because these mind games, it's not fair to play these mind games, right? And I'm saying, like, we've all done it, we've all been there, we've all played mind games. But at the end of the day, these mind games aren't helpful to anyone. It's not gonna solve your problem. It's not gonna fix everything that's been going on. So just be straight to the point, cut to the chase, explain why you're upset, and then resolve and move forward and continue cultivating happy, wonderful memories with your partner, and not focus on these fights. You know what I'm saying? Like, just talk about your problem, then move on, go on a date, be cute, have lots of laughs, and like build those memories. Because life is too short, y'all. Life is too short to have these petty arguments. It's too short even for the great moments in life. Life's gonna go by and like you're just gonna blink. So it's better to not spend so much time being petty and not expressing how you feel, and just talk about it. Just talk about it, resolve it, move on. Like, focus on the good things that you have going on with your partner. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't put in so much effort in the fights and the anger and this and that. And of course, focus on, again, your growth, your personal growth, and your partner's personal growth too. Because at the end of the day, this all just boils down to how you respect your partner and how they respect you. Because again, at the end of the day, like I said, change doesn't occur overnight. Your partner should recognize that as well. Just as you are patient with them and you are there for them every step of the way so that they can change and become the best version of themselves, your partner should be doing that with you too. Because remember, you want to grow together and you want to bring the best out of each other. And that's why communicating and really focusing and looking down and deep into your soul and realizing what things you need to make a change to make a relationship work is super crucial. And your partner, again, should recognize that and should be there for you every step of the way. Growing and growth is not easy, and the topic of it is kind of vague. For me, I spent a year reflecting on myself and realizing what habits I had that were not that healthy. and to not bring that into my next relationship. It took many months of me being fully transparent with myself, fully honest with myself, truly analyzing some not so healthy situations, and also not romanticizing the mindset of the crazy girlfriend, you know? Like, it's fine to joke about it, we all do it, but at the end of the day, if you know that you have habits that kind of bring out the worst in you and negatively affect your relationship, then it's time to be transparent and do some deep soul searching. Because at the end of the day, when you acknowledge and you take ownership of your actions and you know when to apologize, that's when true growth occurs. When you're like, okay, like, I know I did this thing, it wasn't right, it wasn't fair to my partner, my SO, we got to do something about it. And you really sit down and you have that not so easy conversation with yourself. That's, I think, when the true growth occurs. There's a level to certain issues and a level to things that you simply cannot go back from. But when there are things like communication and you know, expressing to each other concerns and wants and needs and things that can really be fixed with some hard work, it's really important to really fight for that. And kind of evading those situations and escaping your problems basically that can be fixed, that's a sign of defeat. That's not a sign of personal growth. That's not a sign of any of that. That's just kind of like you gave up. And of course, you know, that statement for everyone, it can be taken differently. Like, you could have had other issues that just simply cannot be fixed. You know, things happen. You can keep fighting for a relationship that's just simply not working out because you two are just not compatible. And that kind of goes down to a deeper level that goes beyond just communication problems and things like that. But if you do love each other and this is, you know, like a relationship that you feel like is going to be very long lasting, then don't let those small things stop you. Don't be petty. We're all petty. We've all been there. I get it. Okay? Like, but when you find yourself in that situation, just try to remind yourself, take a step back, you know, and be like, hey, maybe this just ain't it. This fight just ain't worth it. We need to talk through it. And again, like, recognizing the importance of personal growth, your personal growth, your partner's personal growth. That's true growth, again, is recognizing things that need to be changed in your relationship and then working towards that change. And I will conclude my thoughts with saying, again, growth doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. It might take months. But as long as you're both growing together, then that's all that matters, right? So yeah, that's kind of where I want to leave this video at. Also, because the sun is going down, my natural light is fading away. I am going to be running out of that very, very, very soon. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and let me know what you think in the comments down below. And you know, I hope you guys like this video, and hopefully there will be more videos like this, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye-bye.